my name is Stephanie Lopez and I will be doing my presentation today. In 2011, two men, one from Georgia and one from Arizona, were sentenced to the death penalty after they were both administered the thiopental drug, which is the lethal injection we use today. They reportedly kept their eyes open, which meant that the drug had not been used properly and that it had failed in sedating them. This caused them to feel excruciating pain. They reportedly kept their eyes open, which meant that the drug had not been used properly and that it had failed in sedating them. Protocols were not followed, so it caused them to question whether or not every inmate suffers excruciating pain like these two inmates did. Where I'm getting is that I believe that the death penalty should be made illegal because it is inhumane. There are many things wrong with the death penalty today. And don't get me wrong, I believe that these criminals who have done these horrible crimes such as murder innocent people should be punished, but I don't believe the death penalty is the right punishment. It's just the method of revenge that we use today. And I believe that there are other methods to actually punish them and make them suffer more than just killing them. When Hitler was in power, the Nazis had a special program to eliminate those people who were unfit. The program was called the T4. When Hitler was in power, the Nazis had a special program to eliminate those people who were unfit. The program was called the T4. Between December 1939 and August 1941, the Nazis killed over 50,000 children and adults using the lethal injection, which is the injection that we use today in our death penalty. I'm sure that everyone agrees that what the Nazis did to these people and the way they killed them were inhumane, yet we still practice it today in the death penalty. Now let's talk about the cost of the lethal injection in the death penalty. Where do you think the money comes from to buy these lethal injections, which, by the way, average to about $2,000 each injection? Where does the money come from? Who pays taxes? Obviously everyone. That's where the money comes from the taxpayers' money. That's where the money comes from the taxpayers' pocket. Not to mention that the trial and the process of the death penalty is much more expensive than that of a life sentencing trial. For example, the attorneys, the trials, the experts, the pre-trials, the appeals, and everything involved in the death penalty trial is much more expensive. Much more expensive because it takes much more time and more work. It's not about whether those criminals who have done those horrible crimes deserve to die. It's about whether the federal government has the right to decide whether they die or not, or kill them in the death penalty. It is morally wrong because no one has the right to decide on someone else's life. No one has the right to decide whether they die or not. Everyone deserves to live. We all know that our government is well based on God. Our government is well based on God. One of the 10 commandments of God is, "Thou shalt not kill." Yet, the death penalty, that's exactly what it does. It kills someone. The death penalty is basically used as a way of revenge, and that does not justify killing someone. Revenge should not justify killing anyone. God created life and God should be the only one to take it. In Article 3 of the Declaration of Human Rights, it clearly states that everyone has the right to live. Everyone. Criminals, innocent people, everyone. But yet our government allows for the death penalty? Since the death penalty began, 130 people have already been released from it due to proven innocence. Since the death penalty began, 130 people have already been released from it due to proven innocence. They are already dead. What can you do now? There is no going back. Once you kill someone, it's done. That's the only thing in life that you cannot take back. Death. You disagree with me and say that the death penalty should be made legal because it deters people from committing higher offensive crimes. Let me tell you something. No, it doesn't. It has been scientifically proven that it does not deter criminals from committing crimes. There have been many scientific studies that have failed to prove that the death penalty deters anyone from committing a crime or a highly offensive crime any more than the life sentencing. Fear of death does not reduce crime. Instead of committing a sin and deciding whether a person deserves to live or die, I propose that we make the death penalty illegal and stick to the life sentencing. I propose that we put an end to the death penalty because it is inhumane. Killing them is simply a way of setting them free without true punishment. They don't pay for what they've done here in the physical world. The death penalty does not make a criminal pay for what they have done. It does not make them regret what they've done. Killing them simply sets them free. That's why I believe life sentencing is the best method to make them pay for what they've done here in the physical world. I'm sure that any criminal or prisoner would rather be sentenced to the death penalty than live the rest of their lives in prison without any hope of getting out. Being reminded every single day of what they have done and paying the price for the rest of their lives in prison. According to a survey made by the former and present president of the top academic criminology societies, 88% of these experts rejected the notion that the death penalty does anything to deter crime. Yes, I believe that these criminals who have committed these horrible crimes should pay for what they have done, but I believe it should be done here in the physical world. Imagine knowing that the criminal who has done so much harm has now been sentenced to life in prison for the rest of their lives, every single day, losing everything they've ever had, including their freedom, having no expectations of ever getting out, having no expectations of ever stepping a foot out of that jail, being reminded every single day of what caused them to end up there, being reminded every single day of what they have done between four walls, every single day, having a chance to regret the crime they committed. Now that's a true punishment. But guess what? It's too late for them because they have no chance of ever getting out. What better revenge than knowing that they are truly paying for what they have done both physically and emotionally here, instead of being dead and being free? Life in prison is worse than death. That is why the death sentence is not worth it. Make the death penalty illegal and have laws against it because it's not worth it, it's inhumane, it's morally wrong, and you're committing a sin. I propose that we all start by signing a petition that goes against deciding on someone else's life, deciding whether they live or not. Not just any petition like a paper and pencil petition. Online petition that I consider would work best considering that most of us today use the internet daily. This petition will be held at change.org, which is an online website that holds petitions for anyone who wants to make a change. After we receive enough signatures, the website directly will send it to whom it affects, in our case, Congress. And after that, Congress can make a change. All of us can make a change. As taxpayers funding this death penalty, we all have a right and say. And after that, step by step, we may get the death penalty to finally be abolished and be illegal. When it comes down to it, there is no effective evidence to prove that the death penalty deters crimes any more than the life sentencing. No one has the right to decide whether someone else lives or dies.